Welcome to Three Random Monkeys. In this episode, we are following up on our promise to upgrade a $200 Firefly into a Gibson killer.
Super modified.
Right. So, we have replaced the pickups and the electronics, and we're going to now be doing the after comparison to this Gibson SG. This Gibson is on the neck pickup on clean. And now the Firefly on the neck position clean. And now the Gibson, middle position, both pickups. Firefly, middle position, clean. And now the Gibson, bridge position, clean. And now the Firefly, bridge position, clean.
Dirty.
And now the Gibson, neck position,
In the dirty position.
dirty.
Are you going to use some soil on that baby?
I am. And now we're the Firefly, neck position,
In the soiled position.
distorted. And now the Gibson in the middle position, both pickups, dirty. And Bill has to inhale between every... Now the Firefly in the middle position, dirty. And now the Gibson bridge position.
Bridge position.
And now the Gibson bridge pickup, dirty. And the Firefly bridge position, dirty.
Tell us about those coil splitters, Dana.
Sure. This modified Firefly
Super modified.
This modified Firefly differs from the SG in the fact that we've got some coil splitting pots, push-pull coil splitting pots, so both the bridge and the neck pickup can be split to approximate a single coil, like a Telly or a Strat or something like that. So this is the neck not split. And here's it split. Not a huge change, but it thins it out and brightens it a bit. And the bridge position, Not split. And split. In the middle position, with both coils split, it seems to be hum canceling. So there is where the individual coils are, once you split them, they're just like a Strata or Tele, where they can introduce 60 cycle hum into your signal. Now, this is where we began.
Let's do it. Good drum solo!
Thanks for watching. Remember to like
And subscribe and comment. Tell us what you thought.
Yep.
Thank you!
Be good to each other. So, the first thing we discovered is that when we took the control cavity plate off the back of the Firefly, is it's got full-size pots, just like the Gibson. Now, it doesn't say Gibson on the pots like the SG.
Number.
And the SG has the well-loved printed circuit board in the back of the cavity. That the Firefly soldering and stuff looks well done. The caps look well done. We are going to be replacing the Firefly pickups with a Seymour Duncan JB in the bridge and a 59 in the neck. I also ordered a pre-wired harness
From some guy off of eBay. We don't know who he is.
I gotta look that up. Anyhow, it's a pre-wired harness that is set up for push-pull coil splitting pots on the tone controls. They've got full-size pots. Everything is the American geometry, US geometry. This is what the wiring looks like in the Firefly, which is actually pretty impressive, except for the fact that when I got the Firefly, the neck pickup was not working, and one wire was the solder wasn't very good.
Which we forgot to mention in the first video.
Right, but I fixed it, and hence the first video it worked. Now, one thing that's kind of annoying is that if you can see in this close-up of this picture, is that the back plate has been on more than once, and the screw holes, there's more than one, and it knocked off a chunk of wood. So I think I'm gonna have to glue that small fragment of wood back in before the screw's gonna actually bite on the control cavity cover plate. Now we're disassembling the Firefly, taking off the pickups, pickup rings. We unscrew everything off the front of the Firefly of the controls, and we start taking it apart. And we only had to desolder a couple of connections because I left the harness, mostly intact. All we did was desolder the pickups and left the rest of it connected. And that's the.
He's old. You gotta cut him.
These are the old pickups that we're taking out, and there's plenty of wax spillover out of
Out of one of them.
Yeah, out of one of them, the neck pickup. Now make a note of the pickup rings, what goes in the bridge and what goes in the neck, because they are the geometry is different and they're angled. They're thicker in the front, they're thicker in the back, skinnier in the front, or vice versa, depending on which one you're using.
Just something extra to confuse you. And there's another shot of that wax leaking out of one of those Firefly pickups.
And there's plenty of reviews that say that the Firefly pickups are not wax potted, but lo and behold,
Apparently,
some are.
yeah. And here's a nifty tool for getting knobs off, because we know how much Dana likes to play with his knobs.
Absolutely. But yeah, no effort whatsoever. It's the easiest way to pull almost all the knobs that you might have in your guitar, whether they're speed knobs or the top hat or witch hat, however you want to call them.
And the knobs actually fit on the new harness. So
Yeah.
apparently metric or standard or whatever, it was kind of weird.
Well, that's not quite true when we get to...
Yeah, the knobs fit on there.
Yeah, the
fine.
knobs fit, but it's not... That might be American... That might be U.S. geometry, but the shafts are not U.S. geometry.
But the shaft fit in the hole.
No, that didn't fit in the hole. The new shafts didn't fit in
Wow,
the...
but we're talking about your knob.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's
So you're
semi-American,
jumping to the hole.
semi...
So you're jumping to the hole.
It's kind of metric and kind of American. Or standard.
Now, what was this device that you used?
That's the tool for removing that knurled nut on the pickup selector switch.
I would have never guessed there was such a thing. That's just freaking awesome, I think.
It's standard on one side, metric on the other. All right, so disassembling this, I've got a crescent wrench that... Fancy dancy crescent wrench that is thinner in the front, and it allows you, when you need to tighten the nuts on your tuning pegs and things like that, it can get underneath the strings, and it's
Pretty cool.
it's good. It's really
It
good.
looks good.
The new wiring harness came, the shafts appeared to be longer. I mean, we actually
We
measured
eyeballed
them.
They were longer.
And they were longer. And the new shafts actually came with 2 nuts and 2 washers per pot so that you could adjust the depth of the pot sticking out of the body. It turns out we didn't need it. I mean, look at this. They're different lengths. So here we're measuring the diameter of the new shafts on the new pots because
They didn't fit in the hole.
no, if you look that the old ones were, I mean, it's almost...
It's almost 2 mil.
So, took out the handy dandy reamer and just started reaming out the holes until they were the right size to fit the other
there's
ones,
Dana
and no bigger.
reaming.
Reaming. And
Reaming.
knobs.
Hey, there's the pickup cavities.
Yeah, with the false black fake shielding paint. Oh,
The
okay.
new Seymour Duncans into the old pickup rings. So tell us about these little screw heads on the Seymour Duncan. That just looks weird.
Well, all humbucking, not all, most humbucking pickups have adjustable pole pieces that allow you to raise or lower the pole pieces to affect the tone of the guitar. And theoretically, one can adjust the pole pieces to match the curvature of the neck and the strings so that you have the appropriate magnetic pull across the length. But there's some magic and wizardry and science that goes in with that.
Makes sense.
This is the finished wiring harness. Those 2
Actually, I don't know if we're finished here. Have we wired? Have you wired in this one?
Not yet. I don't think the pickups aren't through there yet. The square looking pots, you know, you'd think they should be round. Those are actually push-pull pots because I'm going to be using all 4 wires of the Seymour Duncan pickups to allow coil splitting of both the neck and the bridge pickup.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Make them pretend to sound like a Telly or a Strat, but not quite.
Ah, okay. Seymour, there it is in the ring. It's looking good.
That's the
looking
JB in the bridge, and that's
There's the new one
the
going
59 in the neck.
good. Here's the pickups installed in the front. Anywho, tightening with that fancy wrench again. Unloosening, actually. Why did you do that?
Well, because this was theoretically a no solder wiring harness,
Theoretically.
and it's got little tiny screws in the back, and you can't get to them if you've got it screwed down tight. If it's,
And little tiny wires, too.
yeah, the pickups have very tiny wires.
And they're trying to feed the wires into the holes. Tightening with a screwdriver. Awesome stuff here. Wiring diagram, very important.
Yep.
Handwritten and secretly transported over the border. Putting the knobs on. Ah, that was exciting. Stringing that sucker up. The pencil trick. Never seen that before.
Yep, that's graphite in the nut. Any place that your strings contact your guitar, whether it's the bridge saddles or nut, you should take a pencil or some graphite or some nut lube or something. And
Nut lube.
Nut lube.
Tightening up fittings.
Yep.
For
And
shrinkage.
sure, anytime
Do they know about shrinkage?
I don't know if they know about shrinkage, Jerry.
Wood can shrink.
So every time you change your strings or you're doing a setup, is all of the hardware, metal doesn't shrink, but the wood does, or expands depending on humidity and temperature. And you should go around and everything that's got a screw or a nut is just make sure it's snug while you're doing your maintenance.
Pretty guitar. Fancy cutters too. cut those strings off. Don't let them hang there like some people do. The tuner found the pots, so it was getting signal. At this point, we were like, is this thing gonna work? I don't know, man. Here we are, or here I am, filming Dana while he's gonna record this awesome new equipped Firefly. Then it's back to measuring string height after we knew it worked.
Yep.
No sense in doing extra labor.
Yep. Seymour Duncan recommends 3/32 on the bridge pickup, and then adjust the neck pickup to complement the bridge pickup once you've got it there. But like everything else in music, adjust it to your taste, and if it sounds good, it is good.
It is good. So all of this is done. You were telling me that the pickups are floating in those rings, so they're not even contacting the wood of the guitar.
Nope.
So tone wood is bullshit, at least in this guitar.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. We're going to go with theoretically. And then here is Dana ripping out the riffs like the madman he is.
And now the new modified Firefly actually has coil splitting capabilities that neither of the other guitars had.
Which is cool, actually.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. See,
Leave
now-
a comment below on what you thought about these pickups. Was it worth it?